This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Election season is in full swing across the territory, and this past weekend, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. kicked off his campaign in St. Thomas, where music took center stage at Brewers Bay. Sounds good. The event included an all Virgin Islands lineup of the biggest groups and singers from the territory. Groups like Rock City, Pressure Buspipe, Adamo, and many more took the stage in the evening, performing in front of thousands of Virgin Islanders. While this took place in the evening, the party had been going strong from earlier in the day, too. Altogether, this music festival had about 12 hours of music and dancing at Brewers. There were also booths, local dishes, as well as a 50-50 raffle. And of course, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. took the stage, sharing about his and Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Rocha's accomplishments during their first term and goals for the future if reelected. He also encouraged everyone to have fun at the event.
I'm here with Governor Albert Bryan Jr. Governor, what has the last week been like for you kicking off your campaign?
Oh, just exhilarating. The excitement from the people, the energy from the campaign supporters. It's been like we've been tied up in the gate and we finally let loose, and it's just been phenomenal.
How great is an event like this to have where everybody is here, just being able to enjoy the beach, listen to great music, and have a good time?
Well, we wanted a campaign with a purpose because it's more than just Brian Roach. It's about showing the world what the Virgin Islands have. And this type of music festival where we involve the marine, we have the boaters come in lately, we got the people, local vendors, and most of our local beautiful talent on the stage for 12 solid hours. It just shows us that the Virgin Islands is truly stronger than ever.
On St. Croix, police are investigating a deadly shooting in the area of the Harvey Project area. It happened Monday night at around 8:50. An off-duty officer reported hearing shots fired in the Prophet Hills housing community. Officers responded and found shell casings and blood in the Harvey Project area. Then, just about 10 minutes later, a gunshot victim arrived at the hospital from a private vehicle. Shortly after, another gunshot victim showed up to the hospital. 23-year-old Andres Ponce Jr. was pronounced dead from multiple gunshot wounds. The other male victim was treated for his injuries and at last check was in stable condition. Investigators believe the shooting took place in two separate locations, the two shootings in the Harvey Project area. Anyone with information is asked to call police, 911, or Crime Stoppers VI. 3 days after a mass shooting at a Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York, President Biden visited Western New York and met with victims' families. He was also quick to call the shooting an act of domestic terrorism. Our USVI News' Kara Coleman was there for the speech. She said the president and first lady told families they wanted to be there with them to grieve. He also used strong language against the gunman and his ideology, calling white supremacy a poison that cannot be part of our history. Kara Coleman also spoke with employees who were working inside the Tops when the massacre began.
White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison.
President Biden wasting no time Tuesday calling Saturday's shooting an act of domestic terrorism and slamming the gunman's radical views.
We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America.
The president and first lady also visiting the site of Saturday's mass shooting, laying flowers at a growing memorial outside the Tops grocery store. It's where Jerome Bridges has worked for 4 years and where he was Saturday when those shots rang out.
I heard shots come from outside, but I thought it was actually a car or something backfiring, and when the sound came into the store, I was like, nah, that's somebody shooting.
Jerome tells us he helped barricade coworkers and customers inside a back room, all while continuing to hear those shots. He says he knew many of the victims personally.
Aaron Seltzer was like my big brother. And the day the guy came in, I also spoke with the fire chief's mother. We speak to her every time she would come in that store, and she would put a smile on my face every time.
The president telling the crowd in Buffalo that while it's naive to believe there won't be more violence, there are certain things we can do now.
But there are certain things we can do. We can keep assault weapons off our streets.
Such a tragedy. One of the 10 victims was in the grocery store shopping for a birthday cake for his 3-year-old son. Kara spoke with that boy's mother. She didn't want to go on camera, but told us she thought the president was empathetic in his meeting with families. The commissioner of the VI Department of Health says even though COVID-19 cases are high throughout the territory, we're transitioning from a pandemic phase to an endemic phase of the virus right now. The numbers have increased on all islands. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 1,130 cases territory-wide, with 532 on St. Croix, 574 on St. Thomas, and 24 currently on St. John. The FDA, in the meantime, has authorized a booster dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. According to the FDA, children in that age group can now get a booster shot at least 5 months after they receive the primary 2-dose series. The booster shot is 10 micrograms, the same dosage as the primary series for the age group, and a third of the dosage given to people ages 12 and up. The FDA's decision will now go to the CDC, which will make a recommendation about how the boosters should be used for the age group of kids 5 to 11. Advisors will discuss the booster during a scheduled meeting on Thursday, and a final recommendation will be issued after that meeting. So shots could begin as early as Friday, those booster shots. Less than a third of the 28 million 5 to 11-year-old children in the U.S. have received 2 doses of a COVID vaccine, according to data from the CDC. House Democrats have introduced a bill to address the nation's baby formula shortage. And fortunately, it's a situation that hasn't impacted new parents in the Virgin Islands just yet. The $28 million emergency spending bill would increase FDA staffing, boost inspections of domestic and international suppliers, prevent fraudulent products from getting onto store shelves, and acquire better data on the marketplace. The bill comes as several congressional committees open investigations into the lack of formula. In the meantime, health leaders in the VI say there is no baby formula shortages in the territory. Vendors that serve the Virgin Islands WIC nutrition program with powdered formula products are stocked with adequate supplies, according to the VI Department of Health. So, question for you, are UFOs real? That is the question a congressional committee pondered on Tuesday, and lawmakers haven't held a hearing like this in a half a century. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington.
A U.S. Navy ship captured this video of blinking triangles in the night sky. For years, it was categorized as an unidentified aerial phenomena, or a UAP. Later, a similar image was caught off another coast. Officials now believe they're drones.
The triangular appearance is a result of light passing through the night vision goggles and then being recorded by an SLR camera.
This is one of hundreds of UAPs a new Pentagon task force is investigating.
Since the early 2000s, we have seen an increasing number of unauthorized and/or unidentified aircraft or objects in military-controlled training areas and training ranges and other designated airspace. Reports of sightings are frequent and continuing.
Appearing before the House Intelligence Subcommittee, representatives from the group said there's still no government confirmation of extraterrestrial life.
It's not about finding alien spacecraft, but about delivering dominant intelligence across the tactical, operational, and strategic spectrum.
But Pentagon officials admit there are no easy explanations for hundreds of UAPs, like this video captured from an F-18 military plane. The Pentagon says the number of reported UAPs has increased in the last year from 143 to 400. And they say one reason is their effort to encourage more pilots and military personnel to share their stories.
We want to know what's out there as much as you want to know what's out there.
After the public hearing, the witnesses and lawmakers met behind closed doors to discuss more sensitive national security issues.